Welcome to the Bravado Blitz for week of October 12th. I'm Eric Shannon, and this is my good buddy.
I'm Brian Shows, and good to be back for another exciting week of Oklahoma high school football.
Yep. Here we are, week number 7. The districts are beginning to shape up. We're beginning to see who and who will not be part of this playoff bound. And so grab your helmet, stick around, because it's time for the Bravado Blitz once again. Welcome back, Blitz fans. We're deep into district play, and we have some monster games for you this next week, or for the next few weeks, rather. Last week, we covered the 5A Collinsville Cardinals at the Tahlequah Tigers, and Brian, I really think the Tigers forgot to show up for the game of the week.
Yeah, it seems like when we show up, we cause a blowout. But dadgum, Collinsville's ranked number 2 in 5A for a reason. They really impressed me on both sides of the ball. They rotated in 3 different backs, and every one of them was effective. You know, and that's they were kind of just looked like the same back with different numbers. Yep. Offensive line was huge. The offensive line in Collinsville was very, very effective. Tahlequah just looked out of sorts. They couldn't figure out anything on the Collinsville running game. And I know the Tigers, they're not a bad team, but it seemed like everything could go wrong, went wrong. And I'm sure Coach Gilbert will have them headed in the right direction this week. Good week of practice, and the Tigers host the Pryor Tigers this week, so we'll see if they can't rebound. The Battle of the Tigers. Mm-hmm. Defensively, the Cardinals were just all over the place. They stuffed the Tigers' running game and then picked off Tahlequah twice. It just seemed like mental mistakes for the Tigers. Yeah. Missed tackles, missed some blocks, had some fumbles at the wrong times. I don't think there's a good time for fumble. No. But again, fixable things. Yeah, I agree. Everything we saw can be fixed in practice, and Tahlequah has some good kids. They'll rebound, and they'll make a run in the playoffs. Yeah, they're a playoff team, so they'll be back. They only have one loss. But moving on, we're going to get to see some awesome 3A football this Friday night. Probably the toughest 3A district in the state, as the Idaho Warriors will host the Shakota Wildcats in a 3A3 district battle. And this one could decide who sets home and who gets to go to the playoffs this season. Yeah, Idaho coming off that monster upset of the Seminole Chieftains last week, 24-14. And the Chieftains were number 1 in our Power Connection poll. I don't think anyone outside of Idaho saw that one coming. I know I was shocked. Yeah, I was pretty shocked when I saw the score, right. And we've said it before, but we might have a great game of the week this week. We said it, I think, for about 3 weeks consecutive, cross our fingers. But before we go too in-depth with the game of the week, we're going to check on some teams in our coverage area and see where they ranked according to our partner at okpreps.com. Starting in Class 2A, or starting in Class 6A2, the Muskogee Roughers, they dropped a spot to number 8 after they lost an overtime loss, 49-48 to Sapulpa. Lost it on a block extra point overtime. That's a rough way to go. Roughers will host Shawnee Friday night. Let's hope they rebound. And the Stillwater Pioneers stay atop in the top spot, beating Choctaw 42-22. In Class 5A, the Tahlequah Tigers dropped to number 9 after their loss to the number 2 Cardinals, 43-8. The Tigers, as we mentioned, the Tigers will host the Pryor Tigers. Carl Albert remains at number 1 after beating Northwest Classen 48-0 last week. In Class 4A, the Broken Bow Savages move up 1 spot after a 53-0 shutout of the Stillwell Indians. Another shutout. Wow. Man, they're just monsters. The Savages will host Tulsa Central this week and probably another shutout. And the Wagner Bulldogs stay at number 2 after beating the Miami War Dogs 47-6 Friday night. Wagner will travel to Oologah Mustangs this week. And the Napoto Pirates have yet to be challenged this season and reign atop after beating Tulsa Central 35-6. The Pirates will travel to Stillwell this week. I would not want to be Stillwell this week. No, man. I think Wagner and Poto are on a collision course. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in championship. I think it's clear cut in 4A. There's 2 really good teams, and then there's several that are hoping to catch them on an off night. And then you got Broken Bow and Bristow, and Poto's got to get through Broken Bow. Yep. Wagner's got to get through Bristow. Yep. So, moving on to Class 3A, the Seminole Chieftains only dropped 1 spot to number 4 despite losing 24-14 at the Idaho Warriors last Friday night. And I don't care what you say, you didn't see that one, I didn't see that one, only the Warriors saw that one. Mm-hmm. And they check in at number 3 after that upset. They host our game of the week this week on BravadoTV.com, hosting the Shakota Wildcats. Staying at number 1 is Heritage Hall after they beat Perkins 35-12. Kingfisher holds on to the number 2 after beating Bridge Creek 49-17. And those two will meet next week.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a game right there. Mark that on your calendar. All right, not much movement in 2A. The Beggs Demons stay at number 3 with a 40-0 shutout over Dewey. Lots of good defense being played. They host number 8 Victory Christian this week, and that should be a really nice game. The Vian Wolverines remain at number 2 after a 49-0 drubbing of Tahlequah Sequoia. The Wolverines will host Westville this Friday night, and the Oklahoma City Millwood Falcons stay perched atop the number 1 spot with a 22-17 win over Washington. You like that, perched atop, right?
Yeah, and Vian's kind of laying in the weeds. This is the first year in a long time that they haven't been somewhere everybody's talking about them.
Yeah. Well, I think last year, they lost that playoff game to OC Millwood.
Yep.
And I think that shocked a lot of people, so I think a lot of people are a little gun-shy on them.
That's right, man. Well, moving on to Class A, the Gore Pirates move up 1 spot after they came out king of the Battle of the Pirates last week, the Porter Pirates, that is. We had a feeling on those Green Gore Pirates, and they're still looking good. They host Warner this week in district action. Morrison still checks in at the top spot after a 46-14 beatdown over at Barnsdall. In Class B, the Kyoto Lions, they just keep moving up the rankings after their 50-0 shutout win over Gans last week. The Lions will travel to the Porham Panthers this week, and Kyoto should just keep moving up. Our favorite mascot in the whole state, the Dewar Dragons. The Dragons stay at number 6 after a 54-6 win over Cave Springs, and the Dragons will host Arcoma this week. So that'll do it for our state rankings segment. For more in-depth look at the rankings, go to okpreps.com. And when we come back, we're going to hand it off to Demi, and she's going to check out some scores around our area, and then she will present our ever-popular Bravado Wireless Power of Connection poll for the week of October 12th. Yep.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back. I'm Demi Smith, and I'm pleased to present our Bravado Wireless Power of Connection poll for this week. Starting off in the 10th position is the 5A Tahlequah Tigers. They dropped from number 2 after suffering a 43-8 homecoming loss to the Collinsville Cardinals last week. The 4A Hilldale Hornets returned to the Power of Connection poll in the 9th spot after beating the Salisal Black Diamonds last week 49-6 and improving to 5-1. Coming in at the 8th spot is a newcomer to the poll. The 3A Stigler Panthers beat the Chakotah Wildcats last week 56-22 and moved to 5-1 on the year. The Panthers traveled to Seminole this week for a District 3A3 showdown. The 6A 2, 4, and 2 Muskogee Roughers stay at number 7 despite a 49-48 loss to Sapulpa last week. Dropping from number 1 to the 6th spot is the Seminole Chieftains. They suffered their first loss last week to Idabel 24-14. The Chieftains will host Stigler this week. Jumping up to 3 spots is the Class A Gore Pirates to the number 5 spot in our poll after beating the Porter Pirates 62-22 and improving to 5-1. The 3A Idabel Warriors rocket up to 6 positions to number 4 after their upset win over Seminole last week. The Warriors move to 5-1 and host our Bravado Wireless Game of the Week Friday night against Chakotah. Coming in at number 3 is the 2A Vian Wolverines. Up 3 spots from last week, the Wolverines beat Sequoia Tahlequah last week 49-0. Another 2A team, the Beggs Demons, move in the number 2 spot. From 5th last week, they beat Dewey 49-0. And drum roll, please. Our new number 1 is none other than the 4A Broken Bow Savages. They beat Stillwell last week 53-0 and move up from the number 3 spot. The Savages might have the best defense in the world. They only have allowed 14 points since week 1. That's less than 3 points per game, and have posted 4 shutouts in 6 games. Dropping out of the poll is the Chakotah Wildcats and Okemah Panthers after they both suffered losses last week. Now that we have our 5th Power of Connection poll, let's look at some of the notable scores in our area from some of the unranked teams. In Class 5A, McAllister improves their record to 2-4 with a 49-0 win over Tulsa Nathan Hill last week. The Buffaloes host the Coweta Tigers this week. In Class 4A, the Fort Gibson Tigers get their second win of the season, holding off the Muldrow Bulldogs 21-20. In Class 3A, the Okmulgee continues to struggle as they drop their fifth game of the season, losing to the Roland Rangers 60-28. In Class 2A, the Eufaula Ironheads improved to 4-2 after beating the Hugo Buffaloes 61-21. The Morris Eagles got back on track with a 24-8 win over the Kiefer Trojans. Valiant Bulldogs stay in the district title hunt after a 46-24 win over Heavener. In Class A, the Holbert Riders beat Tahlequah 46-20 behind Jacob Bruce's 397 yards rushing. In Class B, Willeka beat up on Depew 68-42. The Outlaws will host Strother this week, and the Savannah Bulldogs eked out a win over the Warner Eagles 22-21. In Class C, Midway fell short against Paoli 16-6, and Webbers Falls got bested 60-12 by Graham Dustin. That is just a few of the scores from around our coverage area. You can find more at okpreps.com. When we come back, we will have the Shakota Wildcats head coach, Chad Hendricks, to talk about the week's game of the week.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back to the Blitz, and we have Shakota head football coach Chad Hendricks joining us. And Coach Hendricks, you are fixing to travel down to Idabel, but we've got to cover kind of the elephant in the room here.
Yes.
You know, we think the Shakota Wildcats, we hold them in high regards and think they're probably one of the better teams that we've seen all year, and we've covered them a couple of times, but kind of stubbed your toe this last week.
Yeah, yes we did. We kind of came out against Stigler last week, didn't play very well, and the better team that night won.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and we talked a little bit before we came on camera, and sometimes that can be a blessing in disguise, you know. Kind of throttle the kids back a little bit and make them focus a little bit more.
Yeah, anytime that, you know, you can take it as a teaching moment and kind of teach your younger players and those that may not have been in that situation some different scenarios on how to prepare for the game and how to play the game, you know. And like I said, we didn't come out and play as well as we could have. You know, we had our chances still. It was a 22-21 halftime game.
Right.
And we play in a tough district, and every week you have to be ready to go play. And, you know, I think there were some different things last week that may have affected us as far as how we prepared for the game and actually went out and performed on Friday night. So, you know, we want to teach those lessons and preparation again and do the things that you got to do to be successful. And, you know, and there's a lot of things that we did. We didn't block very well. I think we had like 23 missed tackles throughout the night. And we're in position still to make plays, had chances in the game to still have a chance to win the football game. But, you know, overall, you know, Coach Risenhoover down there does a great job, and they came out and brought it and came out with the victory.
Well, we discussed this many times on this show about that district you guys are in is such a very tough district. You've got Seminole, you've got Idabel, you've got Stigler, Roland, you know, yourself, and I mean, that's just a brutal district. And but hopefully that one loss keeps you up to the top so you can host a home playoff game. Mm-hmm. And hopefully all the things that happen are teaching mistakes that can be fixed this week.
Right. And our goals are still the same. You know, when you break down our district, you look at Lincoln Christian and Stigler and Seminole and ourselves all have one loss in our district. We're all 2-1. And then Idabel's sitting at 3-0 in our district. So there's 5 teams right there that still have to play one another, and you know, so it's going to be kind of a neat deal to see where we stand when this thing finishes up. But I think where we're set up good, you know, and again, our goals are the same. We just got to take care of business week in, week out, and I think at the end of this thing, if we can play well and learn from our mistakes and continue to get better, that we can be sitting where we want to be at the end of this thing.
Right. All right, Coach, heading down to Idabel this weekend or this Friday night. Idabel, very quick team, and I think have actually surprised some people because they lost the first week of the season. They lost to Brokenville, got decimated by Brokenville, and then they come back and then they upset Seminole last week, which I don't think anyone in the state saw outside of Idabel that happening. Idabel's a quick team, and obviously they can play some defense.
Right.
So,
well, when we went back and watched film over the the last few weeks, you got to give credit to their coaching staff down there. They've made some changes. They made some changes at quarterback. They've made some changes on the defensive line and different things like that that's allowed them to have more success. And I think they've got the athletes, they always have, and I think that they've done a good job of getting them in the right place and in the last few weeks, and that's really what's helped them get where they're at now.
right. So, long road trip. What do you tell your kids? You've got basically probably a 4.5 hour bus ride, on the Yellow Dog. What do you tell your kids?
Well, that's a good thing. You got to give props out to our booster club. We're actually we've chartered some buses to take down there, which will be nice. Again, it's just how we prepare, and like I've said all the time, it's about teaching our kids how to get on and off the bus and doing the things they need to do to travel, which we've done that. This will be the longest trip that we've taken this year. But I think for the most part that we've had many conversations, and again, we'll do it again today, and talk about how we need to have everything ready as far as how we pack our travel bag to how we get ready to get on the bus and leave Friday. We're probably going to leave town about 12:30 and, stop along the way and eat and stuff. So, I think if we can continue to do, like I said earlier, to do the things that we got to do to be successful, I think we still got a good chance at this thing.
And I will say, I've been very impressed, and I've shared this before. Some of the young men for Shakota, when we're setting up there for one of the games, and very courteous, come up and talk to us and ask us how our days were going, and they're trying to concentrate on a football game, and they're asking us how we're doing. So very nice young men. So so parents, you guys are doing a great job down there. All right, so we've got last week taken care of. We talked about this week. Let's talk about Zion Nichols. Young man hurt his foot the preseason, and we haven't been able to see him yet. We're in week number 7. How is he progressing?
Well, as far as today, we know that he's supposed to have his cast off tomorrow. That's when he's scheduled. Of course, after we lost Friday night, he was like, I'm calling to get it moved up to Monday. And so we'll see. I haven't talked to him since Friday. But we'll get him off. And, of course, he broke 3 bones in his foot, and it's kind of – he's been in a cast 6-7 weeks. So we'll have to kind of take it slow to see where he's at when we get back, evaluate that. And we talk about, that's a foot injury, but with someone like that has that much turnover and can run as well as he does, we got to protect all those muscles they haven't been firing in a while, his hamstrings and his hip flexors, quads, and make sure that he's ready to go. He's a leader. He's a team captain that we're selected by the players, and he's been missed, and so we're excited to have the opportunity to get him back this week.
Well, I know he's a tremendous young man. We visited with him a couple of times, and but we've also talked before we got on here. Is it could be a blessing in disguise, because if he comes in towards the end of the year, get him back up to speed 100%, man, that's going to be a fantastic push going into the playoffs.
Oh yes, and like I said, he's something special, and we kind of always seen his potential, and as he's progressed and got older, like last year, we had to throw him in the fire. He started playing running back for us in week 10 in our first round playoffs, and he carried the ball like 57 times and had 450 yards rushing in 2 games. And then we knew something was good with him. I don't think all of us could come in here and couldn't touch him in this room. He's so quick. So, we're hoping that he, like I said, he's progressed as well. I know he's eager. He's ready to go. He's still he's been in there lifting what he can. Since he's been injured, he's ready to go, and so we're excited to see what happens.
Awesome. All right, so this Friday night, we will travel down to Idabel as the Shakota Wildcats take on the Idabel Warriors, and then next week, it's a Thursday night game. We will have Seminole at Shakota, so we get to see Coach Hendricks again next week, and we sure love covering these Wildcats. And, of course, we love all of our teams in our coverage area. So, folks, if you can't travel down there and you are a Shakota fan, check it out on Bravado TV. And, Chad, as always, thank you very much for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
And, folks, we'll be right back. And for more on the Bravado Blitz here at the Bravado TV studios.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big, go bold, go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back, and just got to hear from Coach Hendricks. Brian, what's your thoughts on the Wildcats going down to the Warrior territory?
Well, it sounds like the Wildcats may have been overlooking Stigler a little bit and made some of those mental mistakes that we keep talking about. Man, it's tough coaching high school kids, man. High school age kids, freshmen, all the way up through seniors. It's tough.
Well, I don't doubt for a second that Coach Hendricks and his staff, they're going to correct those issues. I know they're going to be focused on Idabel. And, you know, what he said, one thing is, you know, they've had a couple highs. You know, they had a couple big wins, and he felt like maybe they got thinking a little bit too highly of themselves.
And, you know, I kind of thought that they were immune to that because of the senior quarterback. He looked really steady to me, so I really thought that they were kind of immune to those type of drop-offs.
You know,
but they didn't have their receiver, though.
Right. Well, he brought that up, you know, and he talked about, you know, they had some kids, and not necessarily starters, but they had some kids that rotate in, were banged up and injured, had one broke his foot, and then had another, his collarbone got messed up a little bit, and then another kid, the Barrett kid, had an allergic reaction to poison ivy. So, you know, you get, you know, even though they're not, you know, minus Barrett, you get some kids that even aren't starters, but they're role players that give the starters breathers.
Yeah, rotation.
Rotation, that hurts a little bit. But what's your thoughts going in? I mean, them traveling down to Idabel, that's a 4.5-hour drive on a yellow dog.
Well, Idabel's coming off that upset like we touched on. Shakota's coming off of bad luck. Man, to me, it kind of sounds like maybe a trap game for Idabel. You know, I know we had a chance to talk to Coach Gibson. You know, and we talked to him. We asked him about the possibility of a letdown. Right. So.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a break, and we're going to listen to what Coach Gibson, the Idabel Warriors coach Jeffrey Gibson, had to say. And when we get back, we'll talk about his thoughts on it and the upset over Seminole. And so stick around. We'll be right back.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines, because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless, we believe in the power of connection.
All right, we've got Coach Jeffrey Gibson from the Idabel Warriors on the phone with us. Coach, one heck of a big win for you this last Friday night. Let's go over that. You get number 4 Seminole come to town, and you knock off a big giant there. I mean, what in the world did you do?
Well, our kids just, you know, I spoke to my kids about, you know, the tradition, you know, in Seminole. And everything, but, you know, I let them know that, you know, year in and year out, you know, those teams have to prove themselves and just, you know, come out and play same football. And also, I talked to my kids about just believing in themselves and just, you know, when guys step on the field, they turn their shoes just like we do. And so, you know, man, Seminole is an awesome team. But these guys have been working hard. You know, ever since I got here, you know, these guys have been working hard on and off the field. And our biggest deal, we've been just trying to come together as a team. And I think we had our best practice last week, best practice of the season last week. So it showed on Friday.
All right, now, Coach, you guys have made some adjustments quarterback-wise and stuff. And just tell us about some of the adjustments you made, you know, just in the district play.
Okay. Well, the thing is, you know, I tell these guys, I don't know who the starters are. So you need to make sure you compete at your position. You know, Ray Davis started the season as a quarterback. Laquan Wells as a slot receiver. You know, he also can play quarterback. But he offense, pretty good tempo. Just take basically we take what the defense gives us, and pretty much that's it. It's just guys playing tough, playing through the whistle, and we run the spread option. So we read guys instead of block them. I don't just have a huge line, so we'll rather read instead of block them. And putting that in the screen game and quick game, we'll just take advantage of our athletes and put them in space and match them up one-on-one and try to create mismatches.
Right. Coach, are you worried about any kind of letdown after that big win this week or last week going into this week?
Well, no, we talked about that today with the team. Each week I ask my team, I need you to be 1-0. Just 1-0 every week. And just focus. I don't care if it's, the best in the state or the worst. Well, we look at them as the next team up, and no matter what's on their chest, we got to prepare, every week, giving 110% effort, and no let down. I told them today, I told the guys, hey, Seminole, that's over. That's over. Next team up, get that out of the system. We 0-0. We need to be 1-0 this Friday. So, another motivator, if we can win this Friday, I think, we'll clinch a playoff spot and we can win this Friday at home. So that'll be a good thing also as a motivator. And just got, we get that mentality of finishing. We talk about finishing, and the end goal is a state title, and they need to practice and play with the end goal in mind each day, each week.
Coach, we're super excited to come down, and we've been blessed to be able to cover Shakota a couple of times this year. And man, they've got some big offensive linemen, and they've got a pretty talented group. Quarterback and running back and wide receiver. Anything you have special for those guys, or what do you tell your kids to look out for?
Just coach. To be honest with you, Eric, these guys, we watch the film, talented group of guys, but they do what they do, and we'll do what we do, and keep competing. And when I tell them, win your one-on-one. If you have 11 guys on the field, each one of you guys need to win your one-on-one battle each time, and we'll be fine. So just continue to compete, and we'll see what happens.
Coach, I like the way you think, and we're excited to come down there. You guys always treat us so good, and we can't wait to see you Friday night. And we wish all the players luck and hope they do a good job. And Coach, we certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. And we will see you Friday night at Ida Bell. And I think this is going to be one heck of a matchup right here.
Yes. Well, look, I appreciate you guys. Come on down and we'll have something for you guys to eat in the press box.
All right, Coach. All right, well, we'll see you Friday night. Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Goodbye.
All right, welcome back. We just got off the phone with Ida Bell Warriors coach Jeffrey Gibson. And Brian, let's talk about what he said.
Yeah, thank you, Coach Gibson, for taking time out of your busy day to talk to us. But he was, you could tell he was happy with the win, happy with the effort that his kids gave, and then, but still stressing that that's only one win. We don't want the win at Seminole to beat us,
right?
To cause us a loss at Shakota. So
I like what he said. He said we're 1-0.
Yep.
We're
1-0 each week. We have to be 1-0 on Friday nights.
And you know what one thing I caught on his conversation was he's genuinely excited about coaching those kids.
Yeah, and I thought it was real poignant for him to mention, hey, I stressed all week long that Seminole is, but he basically said Seminole is a program that we want to emulate. Right. Year in, year out, they're near the top, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. So.
Right. I like Coach Gibson. I like his staff down there. I like the coaches down there. The school system. They remind me a lot of Shakota.
Yep.
just because of the way they treat you, and they have very good, personable young men. So.
Yeah, and he mentioned, you'll see it this week, I bet. He mentioned both in the game from last week and then the game going forward to this week that he's looking to get his athletes one-on-one in space and make the other team make a play.
That's one thing he did bring up, was he's going to make them make a play. All right, so they've been on a pretty good run, and then the Warriors lost in week 1, 57-0 to a powerful Broken Bow 4A team, as we both know. They posted 5 straight wins along the way. They scored 60 against rival Hugo and 70 against Tulsa-Webster last week.
And not to mention that upset of Seminole last week. Idabel has it rolling.
Right. So now you're not going to be able to be with us in Idabel.
No, sir.
And so we'll wait and see. It may be our best game of the season.
You're right, man. It's going to be, and I'm going to hate missing it.
So, okay, well, we're going to hand it off to Demi once again, and she's going to present our Players of the Week and talk about the Bravado Wireless Scholarship Giveaway with OK Preps.
Thank you, guys. First, I want to let you all know about our Bravado Wireless Scholarship Giveaway before we pick our Players of the Week. Bravado Wireless is giving away 2 scholarships to deserving scholar athletes. Coaches will nominate the players, and OK Preps will pick the winners. So coaches go to okpreps.com and nominate a deserving boy and girl athlete so they can win a $2,500 scholarship. Bravado Wireless will pay the university of choice of the winners. For more information, go to okpreps.com and be sure to spread the word because it's open to all athletes in all sports. Well, it's time for our 3G, 4G, and 5G Players of the Week. Our 3G Player of the Week is a tie this week. Hilda Hornet running back Devin Hembry rushed for 218 yards and 4 touchdowns only. Get this, 6 carries. Wow. Oh, and he had a 65-yard reception for a touchdown as well in the Hornets' 49-6 win. And our other 3G Player of the Week is Muskogee Rougher quarterback Ty Williams. He passed for 310 yards and 4 touchdowns and also ran for another 160 yards and a touchdown in a loss to Sapulpa. So our 4G Player of the Week is Stigler Panther quarterback Nate Bryant. He passed for 262 yards and threw 3 touchdowns, then rushing for 100 yards and another 3 touchdowns in an upset win over Shakota. And our 5G Player of the Week, this young man needs no introduction. He has made our list a few times, Hulbert Rider running back Jacob Bruce. He ran for 397 yards, 6 touchdowns, and pulled in an interception in last week's 46-20 win over Tahlequah. Bruce is also just 900 yards shy of the state career rushing record. Wow. So guys, we're going to have to keep an eye on him.
Thank you, Demi. And Brian, we might very well have a record setter in our coverage area.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. We watched that kid. We've seen his stats pretty much every week, and he's been up there, man.
I mean, you think he only needs 900 yards, and you're thinking, well, how can he do that? Well, heck, he's putting in 400 yards
Yeah,
a
I was
week.
going to say, that's only 2 games.
That's 2 games. So, yeah, this cat's running.
Keep it rolling, young man. Keep it rolling.
Keep going. I hope he's watching this. I hope his family's watching this and cheering him on. He's doing a fantastic job. Not only him, but the coaches, offensive linemen, the freshmen that are running the scout team.
When you've got a horse like that, feed him, man.
Yep, keep feeding him. All right, so Brian, another successful episode of the Blitz, and we're looking for a great game Friday night. So we'd like to thank all you folks for watching out there. And so, any thoughts here?
A peek behind the curtain. This wasn't as successful as the final product appears, but I look forward to seeing how this District 3A3 shapes up after this week.
By far,
Toughest in the state.
I think it is the toughest district in the state.
Maybe
it's
even
got
in
monsters.
across all classes.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
serious,
not just
yeah.
3A. It may be the toughest district,
I mean,
regardless of class.
let's
It is, man.
get off script here a little bit, and you've got Seminole,
Who lost to Idabel.
who lost to Idabel. Then you have Idabel, and you've got Shakota.
You follow?
No, you follows in 2A.
Oh, okay.
But then you have Lincoln Christian.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
then
forgot
Stigler.
that's who I was looking for. Yeah.
So and then you throw in kind of a wild horse, Roland, that put up 60 points last week.
Yeah, that's there's going to be 2, for sure 1, and maybe 2 really good teams that are
They're
sitting
going to
home.
be left out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be sitting home looking at, man, we could have beaten that team.
And it's probably going to be a team that only has 2 losses.
Yep.
And that's what stinks.
Yep.
That's a strong district. So, folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to check it out, Bravado TV this week. We're going to have Shakota at Idabel, and this could very well, it could easily be one of these teams that only have 2 losses and are sitting home this Thanksgiving, not going playoff bound.
That's right, man.
It's
They're
tough.
literally going to have to strap it up each and every night in that district.
Yeah, these kids are going to have to bring it. And then let's talk about, we missed on the Shakota thing. We did talk about a little bit with Coach Hendricks, is Zion Nichols, who broke his foot in preseason.
He's coming back.
His boot is supposed to come off this week. And so hopefully he might be full speed in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So that's right going into playoffs. So.
And I hope they stay out of the poison ivy in Shakota, because this is a big time matchup. He's going to need all his bullets.
Yeah, most definitely. So, folks, thanks for watching us, and we hope to see you in Idabel this Friday night. If not, we want to see you watching on your new iPhone that you got from Bravado Wireless. Go visit one of our stores. We have some amazing people, and tell them that Brian or I sent you, and that we sent you, and hopefully they'll make you a good deal. I know they'll make you a good deal.
Yeah.
They make everybody a good deal.
Mention Eric sent you, not me.
All right, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the Blitz next week.
Have a great day if you want to.